From the Middle is a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 321 of From the Middle. Speaking of 321, it feels like it's been 321 days since our last episode, and since the snowstorm started. That's where we start in this episode. Also, why is Corey using the email signature that he's using? We want to talk about that. Meanwhile, he really wants to know what he's doing that's cool at home because he does some really cool stuff when no one's paying attention and people need to make sure they're watching. We talk a little bit about the crazy Uber rides and what you'd be willing to sit through, as well as some of the things that we're streaming. We have a bunch of fun on this episode, and we hope you'll enjoy it after our little break.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
Hey, Middlers, it's been a few weeks. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's just get after it. What's up, boys?
Yeah, no, it's been we haven't recorded since Snowmageddon started.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's over. We're on a melt now.
Yeah, did it get over 50 degrees today?
It did. It got over 50 today, which for those of you listening is abnormal for this time of year. So we got the snow that y'all got, and I'd imagine a lot of places that got snow that aren't used to it, the snow's gone by now.
Yeah.
Ours is very much still around, but
were you all in the 8 to 12 inch category on the initial dump? Like we got like 10 to 12, I think.
Yeah, we got like 12, 13, something like it. It was weird. It was the further north you went, the less snow you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was odd.
Any interesting stories from that? Like, how did it feel to sort of be forced to be hunkered down for a bit? Or are you the like, I'm going to get the driveway clear right away, maybe even have to do it a couple times? Or are you like I'm going to wait till every last flake has fallen and that's when I'm going to go shovel ourselves out? How do you guys handle it?
It all depends, man. Ideally, I wait until everything's done and then I go out and do it. But because our driveway goes uphill, sometimes I can't do it that way because it needs. We're in a circumstance where it needs to be done if you're going to make it up to the garage. Sometimes,
and luckily with this one, it was just powder. Like there was no ice.
It was easy to do. Yeah,
with your driveway, if there's ever ice, like I don't know how you guys do that.
Snowblower and salt, but it was also so cold that salt wasn't going to help if there was ice. But
right.
That's kind of catch-22. There's a good answer for you. If you stay on top of it, then the ice shouldn't matter if you have salt on hand, right? Because if it gets so cold that salt won't matter, that snow is easy to deal with anyway, assuming that you've been dealing with it along the way.
Yeah.
And then if it's warm enough that ice forms instead of fluffy snow, then salt should work.
Yeah.
But that's that. So I did our driveway and we did our neighbor across the street. They're retiree age. And so we just kind of went over there, did theirs. And then we did my parents' driveway as well. And then we did all three again when it snowed again a week later.
You guys are good Samaritans.
So I'm not a young buck anymore. And then that kind of took me out for the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy? I have salt on hand, but I knew how much was coming, and I was kind of in the like, this isn't going to help camp. And so I normally try to get out and like once it's done, then I'll try to shovel it out and do the sidewalk. I literally just got enough to get a car in and out of one side of our garage, which is still true to today. So it just was like, I normally stay on top of it. This kind of felt like enough that I'm like, I bet a lot of other people don't try to do sidewalks and don't do stuff. So I'm just we got in and out. We can put a garbage can out, to get picked up and get in and out of the driveway. We're good. So
So funny story, and then I want to hear you, Corey. Um, but so like on the next day, right? So when everything was sort of shut down and closed down, Lydia wanted to go walk to her friend's house. And so we're like, cool. And so I go out there and I snow blow the sidewalk with her, and Amy came along for the ride. And so like I'm leading the way with a snowblower, clearing a path for her to get to her friend's house. And then it was like on the way back that I then decided to go ahead and do the neighbors across the street. And Isaac, or actually both boys, came across with me with shovels, and the three of us knocked it out. While we were doing that, our next door neighbors, who have like a 20 some odd year old son who doesn't live there anymore, but he came down and he was shoveling their driveway and with a shovel. And this was like after the snowplow had come through our street. And so he got down to like the skirt of the driveway and has this giant mound. And I see him working on it. And he knows that I live next door. He sees me across the street doing someone else's driveway. And I'm watching him. And at multiple points, he has stopped leaning on his shovel, just watching me.
If looks could talk.
And so I felt like at that point, I would be a big jerk if when I'm not done with this, I don't. So I did. After I was done, I went over and did his skirt for him. And he's thanking me and everything. And I got down to like the last two strips, and the snowblower literally ran out of gas at that point. So I was like, well, that's all I got, because I didn't even have any more gas in the gas can. So I would have to siphon from a car if I wanted to do any more. And so that happened. Like I did like, hour blocks worth of sidewalk, my driveway, a neighbor's driveway, and he's just standing there staring, like shoulders down, huffing and puffing, giving me dog eyes.
You could have done like I did for my neighbor's yard when I borrowed his mower and just done one strip of his driveway and then left.
Just come over, like touch up the sidewalk. And then when I get onto his driveway, I just kind of scoop out a little bit. Whoop, there you go, buddy. And just keep going. That'd be fun.
Hope that helps.
I also like the idea in your first story that people don't know that you were going to do the sidewalk anyway, and they just think that you're plowing ahead of Lydia as she goes on a walk to her friend's house. Like, here comes Princess. Her dad's right in front of her. So she doesn't have to be bothered. Oh, yeah. I just love like the people watching of how everybody handles it is always kind of fun. So like, my neighbor across the street, he's pretty particular and meticulous. And I don't even think a fourth of the storm had passed through yet, inch-wise. And he had already done it once. Then he did it again about halfway through. Then he did it again a third time, and then again the next day. So I think 3 or 4 times. I was like, well, maybe he just has the time and likes seeing a clear driveway, or maybe he thinks there's going to be a lot of ice on top it's going to get more and more unwieldy as time goes on. We did the approach of like, let every last flake fall and then we'll tackle it. But we also had an extra person here. Lily's boyfriend, his parents were snowed in, and not snowed in. They were unable to come back from Florida because of all of the storms at all of the airports. So they just had extra time in Florida, which meant he was either going to be at his dorm room completely by himself during the snowstorm, or at his home by himself with no family. So we just said, hey, confirm with your parents that it's okay, but you can crash here for the ride out the storm if you want. So we had some extra hands. So we just waited until it was all done. But like you just said, Kendall, at the very end of the driveway, I think it was, without exaggeration, once we had piled it, it was like chest high.
Yeah.
And when the plows come through, they leave a big, big mound. And so that was obviously the hardest part, which our neighbors did their entire driveway, except for that part, for like 2 days. And I was like, well,
That's kind of like the more important part. Like that's
I know. Like
you didn't take down the wall that's keeping you here.
I'm like, their cars are clear, but now they have to ram.
Yeah.
They just have to punch it and ram the pile at the end if they want to get out. Maybe that was my invitation to go over and help. I didn't do it. We helped the neighbors to the other side this time. It's just a crapshoot.
On the theory of doing it as you go, we had a neighbor that, no joke, 2.5 hours with like a landscaping, like heavy duty blower, leaf blower, constantly working back and forth the driveway. And I'm like, I think it's landing faster than he's clearing, because it's just, and like, I would go do something that I felt like, I feel like I built a lot of Lego on the weekends during that, because it was like, we're not going anywhere. We're just all finding things to do. So I feel like I'd go do something for a long time and need a stretch break and go get a snack and a drink. And I'm like, oh, still out there doing the leaf blower. And then I'd go do something for a long time and come back. And then, oh, still outside. I've heard it. Just, I don't know. I get it. Because like, if I do it now and tackle it in chunks, maybe it's easier. But that didn't seem easier to be out there in that temperature for 2.5, 3 hours trying to blow it dry. And it wasn't a huge driveway either. So it was a lot of effort.
What'd you guys do with some of your downtime?
Man,
Lego.
with kids, I like snow days.
So
Went sledding.
fun.
It's one of those it's one of those funny things. All the parents get upset, or sometimes parents get upset. Like, why are you making my kid walk to school when it's 0 degrees outside? And then snow day happens, and like, let's go sledding.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
How quickly we forget.
Yeah, but no, we went sledding, that kind of thing. Amy still had to go to work, and so that was fun. But yeah, stayed in. I being cooped into the house and things like that. It's like Amy and I laugh about it sometimes. It's like COVID shutdown was like perfect for our family. We enjoyed that so much. That was a good time. That was a good time for us.
It was a little taste of that again, wasn't it? They felt like almost everything was shut down.
Yeah, for like a day and a half. It was I had heard, like, I looked at Kroger's website, our local Kroger, and it appeared as though they were open, even though it was like a level 3 snow emergency. And because their website said that due to the storm, we were going to close at like 8 o'clock or whatever. And it was like 6. And again, like, a couple of the neighborhood girls decided they were going to come over and sleep over at our house. And we didn't have anything fun, like sleepover-y kind of food to give them. And so I was like, The sheriff had said that, like, we're not interested in actually pulling people over. We understand that folks need to get out. And so if you need to get out, we rather you didn't, but you're not going to have any trouble with us.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to Kroger. And so I did. I drove to Kroger only to find out that Kroger was indeed closed. So I didn't end up picking up the frozen pizzas that I was hoping to pick up for them. And there were 2 like high school age-ish boys who were like walking up to the door as I was driving up. So they walked there to find out that they were closed. Felt bad for those guys. It was like, well, I pull into the parking lot. I've got one of the kids with me, and and there's like nobody in the parking lot at all. This doesn't look good. I don't think they're open after all, buddy. So one of those situations. Nothing but gas stations. Gas stations were open.
Yeah.
Some of them have frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
Dylan, did you do anything fun with your downtime?
One of the things about remote work is like a snow day and a sick day is still a work day. You know what I mean? Like, there's pros and cons, and that's probably one of the cons. Although it's a worthwhile trade-off. So still work like normal. None of that changed. But I was sort of like, jokingly throwing a bit of a pity party with the snow, because I work with a lot of folks in parts of the country that didn't get snow. And until I was talking to a colleague from Pennsylvania, and she's like, I said, hey, so how's it near you? You probably got some snow. She's like, yeah, we got 24 inches. Our power was out all morning. So all 3 of our kids were home without power and couldn't go outside. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine here. We don't, we're not I could step outside if I needed to. You're like barricaded in. That's a whole other problem. So, it's all relative, right? But yeah, on other fun stuff, it was video games and movies and Lego and all like fun indoor activities that are easy to do. It was nice.
It was nice. And had it not been so cold, I mean, it was like bitter cold.
So what'd you do, Corey? How was boyfriend in law?
You know what was actually good about that is we had just been talking with Lily about like anytime your boyfriend comes over, it's a lot of times it's just a quick little hello before you guys go off somewhere, or come back and he's dropping you off and saying goodnight, or you guys are watching a movie or we're all doing something. We had even said before the storm, like it'd be good to just get to know him a little more when he's like letting his hair down a little bit. Like it's a sign to me that we have made someone feel comfortable in our home if they just help themselves to the garage fridge and kind of relax on the couch. And
Yeah.
we weren't seeing a lot of that. So to have him here for 3 days felt like a little version of that. Like felt like we really got to know him more. And he was so willing to help with the driveway and stuff. In fact, Sherry and the kids took him because I had to go visit my grandpa. But once we had cleared out, and they went and did his driveway in the country so that when his parents got home from Florida, they came home to a clean lane. So yeah, it was really good to kind of get to know him more. But yeah, it's an interesting phase, man. It's an interesting phase for sure. Okay, so settle a bet. I think I've brought this up on the podcast before, but if not, when you see sent from my iPhone or sent from my iPad at the end of an email, are the optics of that like, oh, this old fuddy-duddy boomer doesn't know how to remove that from their signature? Or is it like this person's on a plane or in an Uber or like on the go, and so they're not at their desk, so I will therefore take typos or grammar mistakes with a little more leniency because they're clearly out and about mobile? Like it's less of a formal email because they're not at their desktop, so they don't have their normal signature. Which is it minus? Is it a net minus negative or a net positive when you see somebody have that in there?
I don't know if I would I'll take the bait. I don't know if I would call it a plus or a minus, but my sort of, for better, for worse, I guess, my assumption is they're not comfortable enough with technology that they've figured out how to remove this as part of their signature. Because I don't think most people want it or like it or use it on purpose. I think they use it because it was turned on and they never turned it off. Now, if people purposefully leave it on or add it because they like it, I've never met those people. And I've worked for giant tech companies who've asked me a lot about phones and devices. So my assumption is it was left on by accident or an inability to turn it off. That doesn't say anything inherently bad about the person other than they just haven't turned it off or don't know how to turn it off.
I'm going to say there's a third option here, but I'm going to preface it by saying that Corey, I legitimately don't know which side of this bet you fall on, although I could make a guess.
Oh, this is fun.
I would say that anyone's assumption of what someone else might intend or not intend with having that on their signature has to do with your own personal feelings of what you do and how and why you do things.
Right.
So I say that to say this. I'm the guy who I don't even know if I have that in my signature or not. It shows you how much attention I pay to that. I will tell you this, that if there was a time that I created my signature, which there was, and if there was quick and easy right there, a button that said, hey, include this or don't include this, I would click it real quick and not include it and then send it. But if I had to go looking for it, I really wouldn't care and wouldn't spend the time to do it because I just don't care. And so I don't know which one of the two options that falls under.
Got it.
I think you kind of said what I said. Either you don't notice or you don't know how.
Well, okay, I guess it's I don't know how, but it's not that like I couldn't figure it out and I don't want it there. It's I don't care that it's there, so why would I try to figure it out?
I think that's part one, because what I'm saying is I don't think anyone's looking at that in an email and going, oh, that's neat. Yeah, let's make sure that's in all my emails.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I don't think that person exists.
I think you completely forget it's there, or you would remove it but don't know how.
Right. So if those two are the same category, then Dylan and I agree.
Yeah.
So I leave it. One, because I'm an Apple purist and they put it there, so I'm leaving it there. Two, it helps my overthinking if I'm on the go and I'm replying to an email via text on my phone real fast. If there are typos, I go, it's okay in my head. It's okay. It's covered. I can cover my errors with this little sent from my iPhone or sent from my iPad.
All right.
So in that sense, it's only a positive because I think surely no one's going to judge me or think less of me for leaving this in there. Apple put it in there. And Sherry's like, it's the most unprofessional thing. You have to take that off. Why are you leaving this?
Now, I will say, I disagree that I don't think it's unprofessional. I disagree that I think it's unprofessional. I think it's fine. If it's already in there and you don't notice it or don't care or don't know how to remove it and you leave it, I know
all those things. I know how to remove it. I notice it and I don't care.
I was going to ask, do you know how to remove it? But if you do know how to remove it, wink. If you do know how to remove it and you like it, that's fine. I wouldn't think poorly of anyone who has it in their email or whatever. It's fine. I'm sure you do know how to remove it. I'm sure you do. And that's fine. You could take it off anytime you wanted.
So Corey is the alien that Dylan didn't think existed.
I wouldn't, if I had to wager my life on if that was a valid option, I'd be dead. I would have not suspected that you existed.
I don't know that I ever would have made taken the logical turns that you did, in deciphering. Hey, here's the world that they're in. If it says sent from my iPhone, therefore I can be more forgiving about certain things. I don't think that that my mind would have gone that direction with it. If that was Apple's intent, it wouldn't just say sent from my iPhone. It would say sent from my iPhone. Sorry. That's what it would say.
That's such a good point.
That's funny. I'm Googling what was the original intent of the sent from my iPhone sign off in emails.
Marketing.
Well, right. That's what I think. I want to know. Twofold, provide an excuse for briefness and typos from mobile typing and to serve as a subtle Apple marketing branding. So both of those things.
There you go.
And I at no point was I disputing the ways that people might use it. My commentary was about whether they notice it or know how to remove it.
Yeah. So Corey, not only are you right, but you're using it according to its original intent.
Yeah, both in your Apple smugness and in your wanting an excuse if you typed wrong, because you want people to know you own an Apple product, so you are marketing for them.
And if only the rest of us knuckle draggers knew what you knew, we would leave it on there too.
Now I've seen people not leave that on, and I don't know if they have iPhones or iPads or not because they don't leave it on. But I've seen people have in their signature when emailing from their photo from their phone something like, "Please excuse any typos from mobile" or something like that in their signature.
Interesting.
So it's achieving the same thing in my mind, but they're going the extra mile of like writing it out.
So my boss and I were playing this sort of fun game over Slack one time about how would you change your email sign off if you wanted it to be a little snarky? And we were giving examples back and forth.
Nice. I like
And
this
one of
game.
my favorite was respectfully yours in parentheses from 9 to 5. Dylan, that was one of my favorites.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering if you take it like amp that up, turn the dial up all the way. If you change it, since you know how to get there, if you change it to sent from my iPhone, comma, peasants. And then you just don't see if anyone even notices. If you change it, just add one word to it. I think that could be really effective.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Maybe that makes me dorky.
Actually, I think mine said respectfully yours exclusively in parentheses, exclusively from 9 to 5. I think is what I said mine was. But I think you should think about editing it since you definitely know how to change it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. What's on you guys'
Who
mind?
was the bet with, by the way? Was this a family or
Sherry.
friend? Was it Sherry?
No, yeah, it's just Sherry and I.
Yeah. I disagree on the unprofessional thing though. I don't think it's unprofessional, if that matters at all. I don't know if that was part of the discussion or if it just really took you down the path of why you do it, not so much whether it was professional or not.
Two discussions. One is for my new freelance business. She's like, you definitely need a proper email signature with hyperlinks to your social media outlets.
Correct.
Photo or not photo, but like a nice signature, simple graphic. Like you need, because I'm using a Gmail. She's like, you need like a proper, take the time, slow down to speed up, get yourself a proper email signature. Separate debate though was the whole sent from my iPhone, sent from my iPad, because I'm responding to a lot of clients with that at the bottom. And she's like, that's so bad. So I think for her, the arguments were the one and the same. I was saying, I was separating that one out as its own.
Here's a tip. Here's a tip for a question you didn't ask. When you do your nice email signature, let us see what it looks like. Also, if it has links in it, test it and send it to a few people so people's spam doesn't think it's malicious with links to things. So test it out first so you don't go straight to spam.
There you go.
Good pro tip. Since that's a super funny, vulnerable, self-conscious question, here's one that might be the opposite or the exact same. Do you ever, maybe you're by yourself at your house and you're just sort of like moving about the house. Maybe you got some music on and you're just kind of vibing. You know what I mean? Like you're listening to a good song. You might be making some food, excited about that food. You're like balling up saran wrap or tinfoil and throwing it, and you made a basket and you did a little spin move because you ever like, do you ever like in rom-com Matthew Broderick?
Hugh Grant from Love Actually. He's the
Hugh
Prime
Grant
Minister
from Love Actually.
dancing
Who's the
through
same?
the
John Cusack, like kind of the nerdy guy, but still in a rom-com. You think you're the center, and then like you just think to yourself, I wish somebody could have seen that. Like you made a basket on or like it bounced off of something and you kicked it with the side of your foot like a hacky sack and it still went in. You slapped your mayonnaise on perfectly, cut the sandwich right down the middle. While the beat drops, then you get like you're just like in a flow state and you're like, this was wasted because it was just me in here. This would have made a really good scene in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
have
feel
to,
you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna. When you said you know what it's like when you're home alone, I don't relate to that, so I'm gonna have to use my imagination. I don't think I would ever dance or do anything so cool that I would be proud of it. If I'm,
I didn't
being
say
honest.
it's cool.
Well, but you say like if I wish somebody saw that implies that like you did something worth seeing.
Yeah,
right?
it was probably dorky, but because I'm aware that it was dorky, it made it cool.
Yeah, I don't ever think that way.
That's
not
akin to the question I think I brought up here a long time ago with Retro Bowl. You're like, sometimes like I feel like I'm doing like so good in a game of Retro Bowl that like I imagine wouldn't it be awesome if Tom Brady was like looking over my shoulder and he's just like, yeah, you're really good at quarterback.
Good job, man.
Oh,
I'd be
see
like,
now,
thanks, Tom Brady.
Video games do add a layer of achievement that I think I could maybe relate to that question and be like, somebody should have seen what I just did in that. That was really,
Or like, or whatever a person's craft is. Like, I'm sure Kendall can swap the strings of his guitar faster than, the average bear because he's done it a bunch of times, and he uses a little spinny thing and he, throws them away, makes all 6 boxes of the new strings in the trash can on the first time, gets them pretty close to in tune on the first try, plays a chord, and is like, yeah. Like, all to music while he's managing kids and a bird or 3. Like, he's got to think, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not everybody can do that.
did you guys just see what I made into an omelet?
So, like, whatever your version of that is, I imagine that a carpenter has his speed square and he like spins it around his finger. Like, whatever a person's bailiwick is, they probably got their own version of that.
Or what about like if you do something that like that you notice, but you don't, but you assume that nobody else notices, but like you hope that somebody noticed.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like something nuanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I always spin my keys this way and do this one thing, maybe.
Yeah. There was one time, and I'm not proud. I'm not proud of the fact that it made me feel good. But there was one time, so during a worship set, which is why it's super weird to like feel good about it. But like I'm playing and singing, right? And I hear that my low E string is out of tune. And so while I'm playing and singing, I tweak it while we're going. And then like during the sermon, Jerry made a comment, like he saw that. Yeah. And made a comment during the sermon. And I was like, yeah, but no, wait. Yeah. I don't know how I should feel right now. So that kind of thing.
I do. I think that's what it is. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, it's subtle enough, but like somebody to flag it or to clock it and go like, I see what he did there. That's cool. That's so dumb. Well, I had one of those moments. I don't remember even what it was now, but it made me think this would be funny to bring up on the podcast.
Well, listen, if you have one of those moments, buddy, bring it up to us and
let's talk about it.
Yeah,
if you have a sense of pride and accomplishment about something,
I'll be impressed.
You should, bring it to us and we'll.
But this is what I'm saying. On paper, I was making a sandwich listening to music and it was just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you had to have seen the way that I did it.
I'll admit a story like that does require a bit more detail, to really relay the greatness of the moment. But I've made some pretty great sandwiches that I was proud of.
I was going to say, Dylan, because you say you make a cheese omelet every morning still. Is that correct?
Well, I do have a cheese omelet every morning, although I found a really good one that I just warm up. I don't have to make it. But I do. Dang. But I do have a good cheese omelet every day. But like I was thinking of I was so proud of tacos that I made one day from leftovers. I sent a picture to Corey because it just looked like a restaurant quality type of thing that would have been put together. And I just slapped it together from leftovers in the fridge, and some other stuff I had lying around. So that was like, hey, look at this thing I made that was good. That I wouldn't put it on Facebook because that feels silly. But I know I can send that kind of thing to Corey and be like, hey, I made some delicious tacos from leftovers.
Wait, so for follow-up question real quick, because are you saying that like frozen cheese omelets in a box is a thing that you can buy?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're good. 3 cheese omelets. Eggland's best. Get them in bulk at Costco. I also get the, sorry, Jonathan, I get from the Brisket podcast, I get tortillas from Costco that are the soft tortillas, Mission brand, soft, low carb. And I heat up my omelet and I put it in a tortilla and have an omelet taco every morning.
Wow.
It's delicious. And sometimes I'll put the really good shredded cheese that they have. Or one time they had maple sausage patties and I would cut that up and put it in the omelet taco with a little extra cheese on top of the 3 cheese cheese omelet, and it was
Okay.
extra good.
Well, so what I was going to say was for
Got
like a
excited about
nuanced thing
omelet.
that maybe you do, since like in my head you were making an omelet every morning.
Yeah.
It's like you ever like, make an omelet and you pulled it off without using any utensils in the pan.
Mm,
And but the answer to that is yes, you have. You have made plenty of omelets in the morning without using any utensils. So
true.
there you go.
Speaking of things that we make and are really proud of, the hosts of this podcast want to tell you all about their show.
Is your popcorn ready? Then pull up a chair and join me, Robert Yanis Jr., at Crooked Table Productions, where we discuss the world of film from a fresh angle on 2 exciting shows. On Close Watch, we get to know our guests through the movies they love, from current hits to timeless classics. And on Franchise Detours, we believe no movie series travels in a straight line as we explore the journeys of series like Rocky, X-Men, and Child's Play. Both Close Watch and Franchise Detours are proud members of the Odd Pods Media Network. Find them wherever you get your podcasts and on crookedtable.com. We'll see you at the movies.
If you're into comedy, game shows, and improv, you should come check out BFYTW. We are an adult British-inspired comedy panel show. New episodes release every Thursday through your favorite podcast player or bfytwpod.com. We're also a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network and would love for you to join us for some laughs.
Speaking of really good tortillas, by the way, I was texting John and telling him what kind of tortillas that I eat regularly, to which he expressed his dismay. And I said, well, now you have to try those and tell me how bad they are. But what are you eating in Texas? And he said, you got to go to HEB because they make fresh tortillas at their little markets. And I'm going to be going to Texas in a couple weeks. And I'm wondering how many tortillas I might be able to smuggle back. And is Southwest going to put up a fight if I have packs of tortillas falling out of my coat onto the floor as I try to go through security?
Are you checking a bag?
I think I can get away with just a carry-on.
And a backpack?
A big backpack that would be my carry-on. Like a
So not roller bag and backpack. You're just
No.
saying you're going to get everything in a backpack.
I think so. Yeah, I think I
Oh,
can.
take an extra bag and fill it with tortillas.
Well, am I going to get some? Because my wife, Bree, said, I don't think they'll let you have it. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to care about food. I think it's drinks or liquids that you can't.
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to care about bags of tortillas.
Yeah, you can bring food.
So then I'm thinking, and it's not like I'm going through an international border. It's Texas. So it's like, then I'm thinking, how many packs of tortillas could I DoorDash to my hotel and then try to shove into my bag? And I was asking somebody else local that lives in the area. I said, how long are those HEB tortillas going to last if I buy some? And they said 2 weeks. I'm like, I could probably bring home, eat quite a few packs of tortillas in 2 weeks.
We need to follow up on this.
But we'll see. We'll see what I can smuggle home.
So I'm recommending a roller bag for the overhead bin, a backpack for the seat in front of you, and fill whichever one you're not actually using for travel with tortillas.
Okay. Like, oh, did you get a bunch of souvenirs? And I just go, yes.
Yeah, souvenir.
Yes. I'm smuggling tortillas back to Ohio because we can't get good ones here. But then I feel like, I say this and I want to be wrong. I really mean it. How much better can they be? But I want to be wrong. If you hear me.
I mean, I've heard in the cooking show world, everybody who does Mexican stuff harps on like making your own tortillas because it's so much better and it's just worth it.
Yeah.
And apparently relatively easy to do, but
probably
I've still never done it.
Sherry just started and it's a hit. Chloe was like, Mom, are you going to make the homemade tortillas again? Those were awesome.
Is she rolling them out or does she have like an actual press?
She doesn't have a press. She's just rolling them out and then throwing them in the cast iron. I think the cast iron. That would be it, right? Probably.
Yeah.
I have a travel question. Each of you has Ubered before. I know you don't Uber often, but each of you has Ubered at least once, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
What needs to happen with your driver for you to speak up? Like, how bad would his driving have to get? His health in the moment? Like, how much would have to happen for you to go, hey man, hey man, are you okay? Like, because that's a weird.
Ooh.
You're putting your life in a total stranger's hands. So I had a situation that happened in Atlanta. I'll after you answer, I'll.
Gosh, I mean, any sort of potential medical issue where I feel like their eyes are no longer on the road. So any level of coughing, seizing, um, distraction via device, like if I don't even see them at least kind of like looking back and forth, like they're trying to make an effort way over the speed limit. I'm not talking about 40 and a 25, but like 60 and a 25 or something. I'm going, hey, whoa.
So like pretty agree. You don't even mind that he's looking at his phone. You're just like, as long as you're occasionally glancing at the road.
I would say I need to feel confident that more than half of his eyeball time is on road and not on phone. It needs to be a good 70-30 ratio. I can't have like 90-10 the other way, where he's like, trying to spin Pokestops on his phone, as he's driving down the road.
Yeah. I would say probably for being Dylan, a good way to put it would be like merely being uncomfortable with what's going on isn't enough for me to say anything.
Right.
But me being in fear for my life is.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Like legitimate fear for my life.
Yeah.
If this gets any worse, I'm not going to get my tortillas kind of thing.
Exactly. I don't
Okay.
want my last tortillas to be mission.
Yeah.
So let's just say that it's really stuffy or something. And he's, because I found this, I generally like it colder than most Uber drivers, especially foreign Uber drivers. They like it. They seem to like it a little warmer than I'm used to. So if you were just really physically uncomfortable and stuffy, you still wouldn't say anything until it's life threatening.
That's
Right.
interesting because you might have picked the thing that I'm most princess about, which is, am I too hot or too cold? So you might have tapped on something that's well below threshold of death. And it's just like a very slight discomfort where I would be like, hey, you need to 70. At no point in my house in any given part of the year am I in the mid 70s on temperature. So we need to like bring that down.
Yeah. Hey, you know how it's like a perfectly sunny 75 degree outside? I got an Uber because I don't want to be out there.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dylan, didn't, as a quick aside, didn't you used to have a thing that you used to say it was like, it was like a little decision tree in your head about if you were feeling some type of way. And the first question in your flow chart was, am I too hot or too cold?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's pretty higher in my priority. Like I would tolerate a lot of worse behavior as long as the temperature is comfortable. Yeah, that's pretty important on the list. So you can, I remember I was just talking about this with our dad, Corey and I's dad, the other day about getting to the point. I didn't realize he did this, and this is a thing I do. Getting to the point where my feet get so hot, it's like a knee-jerk reaction to rip my socks off because I get so uncomfortable. I can be totally comfortable, and all of a sudden I'm like overheated because my socks need to come off. And so apparently he has the same thing. And I remember being in the car with you and Sherry once in the back. And I think I finally had an outburst because the heat pushing down on the floor across to the back of my feet became unbearable. I'm like, guys, you gotta turn the heat off. My feet are on fire.
Oh, I've seen you do that so many times, and it's usually with a gah.
Yeah, it's I hit my wall really fast on temperature. So yeah, that could be sure.
Okay, so I got an Uber in Atlanta. I was leaving Alpharetta, which is about with no traffic, a 40 minute drive, with traffic 1 to 2 hours back to the airport. So the only reason that I even thought about saying something was because this was not a 5-minute ride to the restaurant. This was going to be an hour. And as soon as the dude gets into the driver's seat after closing the trunk, he is like breathing like every commercial you've ever seen about sleep apnea, only he was awake and just that was his regular breathing. Like very labored, like something was vibrating inside his chest. Like this wasn't sick. I got the impression, well, he's probably sick, but I got the impression that this is just his baseline. And it was like he had just ran. He's a big dude. But it was like he had just ran, and it was so exasperated and labored that I was like, I'm trying to look at his eyes in the mirror to see if he seems concerned. Because I'm trying to gauge at what point do I go, hey man, are you going to be okay to I'm happy to just call the next guy. Like what's going on? I didn't say anything. I waited a few minutes. It kind of slowed down, but then like it was still almost like he was snoring while awake, like the whole hour drive to the airport. And we got there safely, but it just got me thinking this would make a good question for the podcast.
If he would it have changed anything if he had gotten in before you heard that, and he's like, enough small talk for him to get to the place where he said like, yeah, I shouldn't have had all the turkey and mashed potatoes for lunch. Ugh. Like if you had any indication that he had just had a huge carb heavy meal and was sleepy, would that have made it better or worse?
Yeah, better. I think I was just going off body language and his eyes to see how concerned he seemed. And then once I deduced that he didn't seem worried about his own physical well-being, I started with the whole, like, how long you been driving? And then he's like, well, I had some health complications. Had to quit. I'm like, there we go.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, couldn't go to my 9 to 5 anymore. Decided to start driving. It would have been a perfect time for like, and how well equipped do you think you are for that job? But I didn't. We ended up having a lovely conversation. And when he dropped me off at the airport for some other reasons and some other things that he had brought up in our hour-long discussion, I prayed for him. So
okay,
had a great exchange. It ended up being lovely. Nice guy.
Do you guys like a talkative Uber driver or a quiet one, or don't care?
In the Uber preferred, you can do like temperature, how talkative your driver is, and a few other things. I generally say quiet. Yeah. I don't know how often they're looking at that though, because I've got some chatty Cathys and I'm a chatty Cathy. So if I'm saying that, it must be bad. Yeah, like a couple, like having a good day, great. And then like, have a nice day. Drop off is perfect for me. I don't want to feel like I have to entertain you if I'm sending emails from my phone. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Something like chattiness is not a yes no toggle. You know what I mean? I need a -10 to +10 slider on that kind of option where I can be a little more, because if like, I just
can I get a 5-minute trial first before I answer this question?
Yeah, I need something. If like 10 is completely antisocial, he'll actually ignore me. And then +10 is like, my brain is overloaded with all the words coming at my face and ear holes.
Mm-hmm.
I need a slide of like, and then corresponding emojis of enjoyment to like indicate visually what I'm going to experience. It's not a like chatty, not chatty. I need more customization than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like your options are temperature, conversation, and bags, yes or no. I'm trying to see how many options you have. There's like a happy to chat, no preference, quiet, preferred, and like probably yeah, let's talk the whole time.
Yeah.
What about you, Kendall?
I guess I could take it either way. I'm pretty sure I did not check a box because it probably landed me in a I'll take whatever. That's kind of my general philosophy in life. I haven't had any really bad experiences. I've had a couple of good ones with chatty folks especially from other countries. Like that's always fun when they get chatty and then they get interested in something that you're interested in. You share their side. When Joel and I were in Chicago, for a soccer match, and like that obviously was brought up, and she loves soccer and we just talked about soccer. It was great.
Nice.
It was fun.
It's awesome. Well, you guys should definitely ask a question now because I've dominated the last couple.
It leads to the best discussion. I know there's a hand. I don't know if we're at the point, based on our normal time, if we're getting at the point where things that have been on, some of the things I've been watching are a bit more timely, but I don't want to cut off any other good discussion if you guys have other topics.
No, we're looks like we're generally to streaming and yeah.
Yeah, and we can save stuff for next week. Too.
Yeah.
Let's get on to watching stuff, the timely watching things.
The timely things. I know we're several weeks removed from the Grammys. I didn't know if you guys watched the Grammys, or if you had any thoughts on the Grammys.
Just saw clips the next day.
Yeah, I don't normally watch the Grammys, but we have YouTube TV still. We were going to keep it through the Olympics, so we're like, let's turn it on. And it was fine. I still find myself to mostly just be like, I'll watch the Oscars is about, what I enjoy watching, typically. But yeah, I thought it was good. I feel like one of the common complaints on the Grammys is like one artist kind of sweeps and it's not interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't feel like the case. So that was kind of nice. And then regardless of one's opinion on Bad Bunny, I didn't know who Bad Bunny was, but then, he got some awards. And so it got me kind of understanding a little bit about his influence going into the Super Bowl. So that was a bit of a warm up on Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl. But yeah, overall, like, decent show, good mix of artists winning stuff. Performances were fine.
I liked the Post Malone Ozzy Osbourne tribute.
Yeah.
I mean, him singing to Jack and Sharon and I forgot the daughter's name. That was really cool. Seeing how emotional they were, seeing Posty sing.
Kelly Osbourne.
Yeah, yeah. That I thought that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. It did. It just felt like a mix of like Gaga won some stuff, Bad Bunny won some stuff, Kendrick Lamar won some stuff, Billie Eilish won some stuff. So you kind of got to see everybody.
Yeah.
Olivia Dean, that was nice to see her win. I've enjoyed her new album is solid as a newer artist. So yeah,
people are loving that Man I Need song.
Super catchy. I get it. In fact, somebody was commenting on something and was like lumped Olivia Dean in with people that they're tired of. And like some comment that was like the top comment on a thread. And
she hasn't been out long enough.
Right. And then the top response was like, I will not stand for this Olivia Dean slander, which had way more like thumbs up than the comment above it. And that was my thought. I'm like, she's had like one hit. This album's been out like in rotation for a couple months. I don't feel like it's, so.
Do you know the New York guy with a sign? He's got shades, long hair, and a cardboard sign, and he just stands out there and has like funny little, one of his latest ones was protect Olivia Dean at all costs.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you like that song, check out the Vandelux, Vandelux remix of that. It's not on Apple Music or Spotify. Just go find it on his Instagram. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I didn't realize Trevor Noah had hosted several times, but apparently this is his last stint. It's changing from one network to another network. And apparently he's done hosting. So I thought he did a nice job hosting.
Awesome.
So there you go. So the Grammys, and then obviously the Olympics have started.
Yeah.
Wait, before that, did anybody watch Alex Honnold climb Taipei 101?
No, I
saw some stuff afterward. I didn't know that it was happening at the time that it was happening, but I watched highlights of it. It was pretty crazy.
Wild.
I am so uncomfortable by people doing something like that. I don't mind heights so much when I have some level of security, a glass wall, a sturdy rail doesn't bother me so much. But like standing on the top of a ladder when it's, much more realistic that I can fall and hurt myself, I don't like it at all. So that is like, I don't even think could be interesting for me to watch. Maybe knowing he makes it would make it better. But when I see people do these things where like jumping from building to building and, free climbing like that up stuff, no, thank you.
To make a whole production out of it is like feels weird. Like I don't know if I would watch that live. It was it's Penn and Teller have this thing that they say during a show, because they do a lot of crazy things, a lot of things that look really stupidly dangerous, with like nail guns to Teller's head and things like that. They do the catch a bullet in the mouth trick and things like that. They say at every show, especially if they're going to do something like that, like it's like, we think that it is morally wrong to do something that is actually legitimately life threateningly dangerous on stage in front of a live audience of people, because it makes the audience complicit in the action, and we don't want to put that on anybody. And so we know that these are tricks, but there's that other part of your brain that thinks that maybe it's a stunt, and we're telling that part of your brain to shut up. These are tricks.
I appreciate that. I don't know that I agree, but I appreciate.
I don't know that I do either, but like, I don't feel like I would actually be complicit.
Yeah.
But there would be a part of me that would feel wrong about watching it, right? And so I want to know that he's okay first, and then I'll watch it the next day.
Yeah, he's okay. Go check it out on Netflix. I watched Free Solo, the documentary of him climbing El Cap with no ropes. And that's how I became aware of him. That came out a bunch of years ago. And I got even woozy just watching that with the drone shots of him with no ropes climbing a sheer rock face. So for him to climb a building where the sides actually angle outwards as they go upwards. So he's like going, and then at one point he's holding onto a bar with his legs like this, and he just lets his arms dangle. And he's on basically the antenna of this however many story, but it was wild. Go check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Sorry, Dylan, I just wanted to go in.
Oh, no, it's fine. Sounds awful. So Super Bowl, did you guys watch the opening or Super Bowl Olympics? Did you watch the opening ceremonies? It's in Milan.
Nope.
A little bit of it. I've watched a lot of Olympics, just kind of a little bit of the opening ceremony though.
Corey, have you watched any of the events of nothing?
I watched a little women's downhill yesterday.
Yeah. Obviously for the US, big story, Lindsey Vonn got hurt, went to compete anyways, got hurt unrelated to her other hurt, and didn't win, but another American got gold, is my understanding. So that was probably one of the bigger headlines people were looking into at the Olympics. But Kendall, what were your thoughts on the part of the opening ceremonies that you saw?
What I saw was like classy, artsy things that I would expect from Italy. Very different from what I think was like the gaudy, over dramatic situation that Paris was, which maybe fits what Paris is. But the Italian one was kind of more my speed. I didn't necessarily get or understand all of what was going on. If there were nuances and nods to things and of a culture that I'm unaware of, but nonetheless, I enjoyed watching what I saw as far as like the dancing and music and things were.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I think in hindsight, it was like, that's probably too many segments of back to back to back to back to back interpretive dance for my kind of American audience.
Yeah.
But like, it was nice and it was unoffensive and it was artistic and probably very creative in ways that I'll never understand because I'm a rube. But like, the parts of the interpretive dance before it became too much interpretive dance was nice, and they did a good job. And I thought it was interesting, and I enjoy history and Italian culture from what I know of it. And so, I think it was, I think that I think back on like London being kind of fun with like the James Bond bit and like some of that kind of
London
stuff
was fun.
That was played into the London Olympics seemed really cool, but it probably worked relatively well for the U.S. audience. Yeah, Olympics has been fun so far.
That was a really well done centrist from the middle take on, this is not my style. This is not my favorite. I appreciate that it probably has deeper layers of meaning that I don't understand. And I don't have to hate on it. Wink, wink, people who didn't want to watch the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah. Which is kind of a nice segue, because I think that's how I felt.
Which is okay to not want to watch the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah. But also fine. But that's kind of how I felt. I'm like, I kind of walked away from even the Super Bowl halftime going, I don't think his music is for me. but I still enjoyed whatever it was. Like, I can understand a story that plays out, you know, and visually it was really interesting to watch, whether I understood the lyrics or not. One of the more interesting Super Bowls I've watched from a storytelling standpoint. But like, yeah, I don't think it's for me, but I think he did a nice job. And I appreciate the general message at the end. And I was like, cool, it was something a little different.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I've heard a little bit about it. It's kind of whatever for me, but
yeah.
I went I went to take a shower, and I had done just a little bit of like quick YouTube video watching of him, enough to say, yeah, it's not for my kids. And so when the halftime show came up, I switched it over to America's Funniest Videos. Kids watched that. I went and took a shower, came back, and watched football because that's why I was there.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Yeah, I think I was more talking about the people who are like, he ain't speaking English. I ain't watching that alternate halftime show.
Well, there's a legitimate debate there, but
sure. But I think Complex did it on Instagram. It was like a breakdown of like what all the scene changes actually meant. Like here he's symbolizing this Puerto Rican agricultural thing. And then when he goes to the house, and then this is what that meant. And that was a nod to this. And it's like, clearly there was a lot of thought and intention, which you weren't privy to just watching. And if you don't speak Spanish, that's not something that you're going to understand.
Right.
But clearly a lot of thought and intention went into it.
I mean, to be fair to him, I didn't speak Kendrick Lamar last year either. And I had to go look up what his lyrics meant. And that was like the second most watched Super Bowl of all time now. And I'm like, I don't know most of what he said. So
good point.
You know, that's probably fine. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying.
That's funny.
Anyways,
I enjoyed Green Day pregame stuff though.
Yeah, did you? I missed the pregame.
I saw that. That was good.
The Green Day was good. And who sang national anthem? I know
Charlie Puth.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And then who?
Brandy Carlisle.
Brandy Carlisle sang too.
Hey, do we think Charlie Puth was lip singing? It sounded so flawless. And it was like there was a delay, but I couldn't tell if that was, you know how sometimes there's a delay with the cameras and the screens. I couldn't tell if it was lip sync.
I don't know. I mean, he's like a legitimate classical vocalist, right?
He's so good.
If anybody could pull it off like that, it'd be someone like him.
Yeah.
He's not exactly a pop artist.
Yeah.
He's kind of more on the more formal side of things.
Yeah, I missed the pregame stuff. Unfortunately, I got to go back and watch it.
I mean, my assumption for him is that like the composition for the strings and everything was probably written by him for this, right? Yeah. And so
I saw him do some live looping on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and then there was this other little Instagram thing. It was like they were playing different sounds, not musical notes, like sounds, and he was just telling you, oh, that's an A flat and A, like the whistle of a ref's whistle.
Yeah.
He's like, these are the two notes. That's why there's that dissonance. Like, he's like a musical genius savant. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Wild how much talent that guy has.
Actual game, 2 defenses out for blood. I couldn't tell if the offenses just weren't good or the defenses were phenomenal or just a little bit of both.
I think a little bit of both. It was the first half was the ugliest half of a Super Bowl I remember seeing. Just we're talking missed passes and missed blocks and things like that. The defenses were still doing their thing, but it wasn't as if there weren't openings. It's just there were openings, and your Super Bowl quarterbacks weren't able to capitalize on those things.
Yeah.
Second half, especially fourth quarter, was a different story.
Yeah, it's like the Pats finally like figured out how to get some momentum until that in the fourth quarter until the pick 6, and then it was just done. But hey, Jackson Smith-Njigba got a ring, Offensive Player of the Year.
There you go.
Congrats to him. I had no real skin in the game, so I just kind of picked the Seahawks for Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Mm-hmm.
Did you make a call who you wanted to win before the game?
I picked Seahawks for 2 reasons. My Seattle friends who I work with at Amazon, and then the simple fact that the Patriots have 5 and the Seahawks only had 1. So I was like, well, Seahawks. I was like, well, they have less Super Bowls, so I want them to win. And that lime green accent color on that navy blue is just mwah.
It's real good.
It is. It is. Yeah, I didn't really. It was one of those games where I had to come up with reasons to root for somebody, and I did land on New England because I just want somebody to have a historical record better than the Steelers. I don't want the Steelers to be holding championship records. I'm morally against it. But I also tend to root for young quarterbacks, which there's two young quarterbacks there, but there's the younger one. And then also I thought that Mike Vrabel didn't get a fair shake in Tennessee. And so I wanted him to see well. I like him. I actively like Mike Vrabel. So
yeah.
So there's
that was a pro for me. I knew like there were a couple Buckeyes on the Pats, but they weren't like normal starters ish. But like Vrabel, and then like Travion had a couple decent plays where he was trying to make something happen late in the game. That was kind of nice to see. So I wouldn't have been mad either way, but I did land on the Seahawks. So who ended up pulling it out. The only other thing that I've watched recently was Wonder Man on Disney Plus, which is a new Marvel show. And I don't know if I assume you guys haven't watched it. If that's a safe assumption. It's interesting. It's mostly a drama about an actor in LA who wants to be an actor and wants to like finally make it and is trying to grind to making it with a tiny bit of superhero in it. And it's like 8 episodes. And so if that's interesting at all, if you like anything that sort of like swirls around Hollywood in a good way, that one was really interesting to watch. So it was legitimately really, really well done. All the characters were really interesting and it was fun. So Wonder Man was really good.
Well, I'll be short and sweet. I went back and started Last Man on Earth, the Will Forte. He thinks he's the Last Man on Earth show from 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Having so much fun watching that with all of the like comedy adjacent, SNL adjacent actors that have made guest appearances on the show. Really fun. I've been watching UFC mainly because Paddy the Baddy was in a fight 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to see that. He lost, but it was still a terrific fight against Justin Gaethje. If you're gonna lose, Gaethje's a pretty good guy to lose to after 5 rounds. And then Alone season 11. You guys know I'm like an Alone like mega fan. They're in a new location. They are 125 to 150 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Ooh. So they're way up there in the Northern Territories at the Mackenzie River Basin. And they dropped them off in late fall. And so, man, it's cold and it's getting colder. Sherry and I binged it yesterday and today. So I'm really enjoying Alone season 11 now streaming on Netflix.
Is Paddy the Baddy an Irish character? Is that
he's a Scouser, so he's from Liverpool.
Oh, okay. I figured that had to be some sort of UK or Irish nod.
Yeah, he's Liverpudlian.
Nice. Well, there you go. I remember watching all the Last Man on Earth, and I actually kind of wished, like, I like the Castaway-esque moments of him by himself early on, and I kind of wish they had dragged that out a little further. And I don't know what they would have done with it necessarily, but I find so many of these shows like it reminds me of the Cloud or the whatever is set in the Superstore or whatever the Cloud9 shoppers or whatever they're called. I don't remember. It's like they just miss the mark a little bit on the silliness of the customer interactions. They focus too much on the employees being nuts and not enough on the customer employee interactions. I feel the same way about St. Denis Medical. Like there's a little more room for the patients being kind of nutty. But that's the only thing I remember thinking about Last Man on Earth was like a little bit longer of him kind of going nuts and finding ways to entertain himself would have been interesting.
I think one of the reasons I love post-apocalyptic shows, and this show does it really well, it's like the whole what would you do question.
Yeah.
Mm. And he does. He goes to the White House and he goes to museums and he takes he takes a signed Michael Jordan jersey framed and he puts it in his house, right? Like he does all those things, which made me remember we watched another movie that for this reason I wanted to watch it. Roofman with Channing Tatum. It's a real story about a guy who survived inside of a Toys R Us to escape the law. So like that is one of the things I would do in a post-apocalyptic world. I would just hang out in a Toys R Us if they still existed. So like I love that whole like what would you do if there were no rules and you could and he's driving a B-2 bomber down the middle of the street because he can. Like
Yeah, why not?
I love it. Like to see that played out is just really fun for my adolescent. Kendall, what you streaming, brother?
Oh, not streaming anything, man. Sports.
Yeah.
Watching sports. Nothing
Lots
but
of
Olympics
Olympics.
lately. But yeah, watching hockey, watching basketball. And
What's your favorite winter Olympic sport to watch?
the last two go rounds here, the thing I've gotten the most excited to watch has been curling.
Yeah, let's go.
I've had fun learning all about curling.
That's awesome.
And boring my wife with the details of the fun things that I've learned about the sport, the gentlemanly sport of curling.
Gentlemen.
That's awesome.
Very proper. Well, lots of curling to come, hopefully. And this was a super fun episode. It was good to be back after 2 weeks off. Good to catch up with you dudes. If you are listening for the first time and made it this far, head over to artiusman, artiusman.com. Use promo code The Middle. You'll save 25% off your first order. What would I order there, you ask, Dylan? You would order all kinds of great men's skincare and oils and bathroom stuff. You're going to love it. Really, really great stuff made locally in Columbus. So it's great for them. It's great for you. It's great for us. And they've been a great partner of the show for a long time. So if you like what we do, that's how you can help us do what we do and help them do what they do. So you can get back to doing what you're doing while spelling. Did I say that right? Doing what you do best while smelling and looking fresh. So artiusman.com, use promo code The Middle. You can thank us later because they make awesome stuff. With that, I think we are done.
See you later.
Bye.